I want to direct your attention to live images of your homelands. Now you're looking at an advanced weapon system we call Project Zeus.
Satellite 1A, approaching London. Ordnance live and loaded. Awaiting drop authorization.
Now to direct the rod to its target, we don't launch it or fire it.
We drop it. Gravity does the rest. Observe.
Satellite 1A, we have remote launch authorization. 3, 2, 1, drop.
The rod touches down 8 times faster than a bullet, and with a force significantly greater than a nuclear warhead. None of the fallout, all of the fun.
Okay, for the hospital.
Here's the thing. Is there a conspiracy to wipe London and major cities of the world from the face of the earth through man-made meteor strikes? Consider this.
Dr. James Mayfield, Sir.
Mayfield? Ist das nicht Ihr Sohn, General?
Ja, Sir.
Bringen Sie...
Anit hat viele geomagnetische...
Are we on? Are we on?
We're on, Mr. President.
A few minutes ago, the United States ambassadors to every country in the world told the leaders of those nations what I'm about to tell you. The comets are still headed for Earth. Now, we've been planning for the worst, so I hope you'll bear with me and listen to what I have to say. To ensure the continuation of our way of life, we've been preparing a network of immense caves, and we can put 1 million people in them, underground, for 2 years. On August 10th, we're going to hold a national lottery. A computer will randomly select 800,000 Americans to join the 200,000 scientists, teachers, soldiers, and artists who have already been chosen.
Here's something. Do they have the technology in real life to execute a PSYOP mission like that?
Dropping the atomic bombs that essentially forced Japan to end World War II led to a number of weapons and munitions developments. Amongst them was research into the use of a kinetic energy projectile, or basically finding ways to project a really dense piece of metal at ridiculous speeds. This would lead to damage, but without the explosive effects, similar to the Navy's work with an electromagnetic railgun. However, earlier iterations didn't focus on generating the velocity. Rather, basic physics would come into play by dropping it from really high in the sky. So imagine a 2,000-pound tungsten rod dropped from 1,000 miles above the Earth. Unlike a bullet, it would actually gain speed as it dropped, eventually hitting its target with power equivalent to an intercontinental ballistic missile, without the mess of a nuclear weapon. The US actually used a variation of this tactic in Vietnam. These lazy dog bombs were small pieces of non-explosive steel fitted with fins. They were dropped by the hundreds and reached speeds of up to 500 miles per hour and penetrating up to 9 inches of concrete. This led to the development of Project Thor, which called for a bundle of 20-foot-long, 1-foot-thick rods dropped from high enough that they could reach sound barrier-breaking speeds, and again, avoid the fallout associated with nuclear weapons, which were the only thing capable of delivering equivalent damage. So haven't these rods from God been released? 2 main reasons. First, the actual weight of the projectile by the time it hits the target is still being debated. Just as large pieces of space junk break up and burn as they fall, the same could happen to these metal projectiles. The other reason? Cost. Dropping these hammers from the skies could be up to 10 times more expensive than equivalent weapons in the arsenal. However, with the commercialization of space taking new steps forward via SpaceX and others, that may not be an issue for long. I'm Jeff Ranke, and this is IEN Now.
Oh my God! 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 Get out! Get out!
Here's the kicker.
Today. So here we have the Next Catastrophe magazine by The Economist, owned by the Red Shield family. And here you have the meteor strike. Now, I've been predicting in my videos that they are going to construct some kind of meteor strike event. Now on YouTube today, you have this YouTuber called Mr. MBB333. Now, I've made a video about him, clearly exposing him to be a Freemason. There was also another big channel on YouTube called Suspicious Observer. He is also another Freemason, and his channel logo with the Earth in a magnetic field looks like an all-seeing eye. Now, Mr. MBB333, who sounds like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons, he seems to be predicting the end of the world. Now, I believe that they have created these channels to convince people that there will be some kind of catastrophic event which will be natural, when actually it's man-made. Now in his video today, he warns that scientists have just warned that in a meteor shower called the Taurids, so every year you have meteor showers, like the Taurids and the Leonids. Now the Taurids meteor shower is from around October to December. And they are from a comet which has gone past, which goes around the sun every 3.3 years. So you can see the 33 of the Freemasons. So this comet called Comet Enki leaves a dust trail, and the Earth passes through this dust trail, and it creates little meteors, nothing more than that. But Mr. MBB333 today is warning that there is going to be a super swarm of meteors, and contained within the meteors are going to be these large asteroids, which could create major devastation on the Earth, as these asteroids hidden with the meteors are about 300 meters in size, and this will be multiple Tunguska events. This is what he says in his video. Now this is very similar to the film Trackdown, and so it's given us a further clue that this event is near at hand. And what they're going to do is they're going to use a meteor storm, and when that storm happens they're going to create this event saying that larger rocks are going to hit the Earth, when actually it's missiles from space. In low Earth orbit they have missiles called rods which can mimic meteors. So in the film Trackdown, notice his costume. He predicts the end of the world through meteorites. Now there is a sheriff, and the sheriff debunks him, and he consults a man in the town who knows a bit about astronomy, this man, who looks like Abraham Lincoln. And he tells the sheriff that don't believe the story that the character Trump is telling him about the end of the world, because all it is a meteor shower called the Leonid meteor shower, which happens every year. But sometimes it can be quite intense, and so it looks like the end of the world is happening. Okay, and it's this told by this guy, which looks like Abraham Lincoln. Now, the man who tells us this is this character called Trump. And I've explained in my videos how lots of the parallels. So it's called Trump. He wants to build a wall to protect the town, and in the end he is shot. Now there's been lots of predictive program that Donald Trump will be shot, and it seems that Donald Trump is connected to this event of the meteors. Now we have, look at the costume here, and it is similar to the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Now the Sorcerer's Apprentice is Mickey Mouse. He steals the hat of a sorcerer, and he cannot control the magic, and this is some kind of Masonic initiation. So that is the whole point of being initiated into this alchemical cult. And here you have Neil deGrasse Tyson wearing the same costume as the Trump character. You have all-seeing eyes, Egyptian all-seeing eyes of Horus with the tail here and here. All-seeing eye, all-seeing eye. The magician's costume, similar to the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and similar to this film Trackdown with the character Trump. And deGrasse Tyson is famous for promoting this idea that the Earth is going to be hit at some time by an asteroid. And this is what killed the dinosaurs 66.6 million years ago. Now deGrasse Tyson is famous for telling a story about how Abraham Lincoln was told that the world was going to end. And Abraham Lincoln didn't believe this. And it was at the time of the Leonid meteor shower, because sometimes it can be intense. And when Lincoln was in power, they had a very intense meteor storm, and it looked like the world was going to end. And sometimes this does happen, but it's harmless because the meteors are small. But to someone who's not initiated in astronomy and knowledge, they would think it's the end of the world. And people did think it was the end of the world. But Lincoln, he stepped outside, he saw what was going on, and he said, no, it's just a meteor shower. The stars are still in the same place. The world's not going to end. And it's a famous story that Neil deGrasse Tyson tells. There you have the costume of the magician, which he's wearing, all-seeing eyes, the same as Trackdown and the same as Sorcerer's Apprentice. And he tells this story about Lincoln. Then we have this Jeremy Paxman program called Divided America. He was talking about the Trump-Clinton election. It was called Divided America. And at the start of the program, he introduces Abraham Lincoln. Now Lincoln, as I said, was famous for this realization that the Earth was not ending, and that it was just a meteor shower. He's also famous for the Civil War and being shot. He was one of the presidents that was assassinated. Now in the film I Bet Go, you have the tearing of the American flag in two. Some kind of civil war, which you have in America now between the Democrats and the Republicans. So you have that predictive programming. Then you have a passage where coming soon here. Okay, so watch this bit where you have a statue of Trump and he's wearing a Masonic ring.
The US political system is designed to work with both parties pulling together. When that doesn't happen, Washington grinds to a halt.
Good evening. This government shutdown is now in its 9th day, and after all...
The result is a system that feels like to get Washington working again. But the more toxic this election becomes, the harder that will be.
So it says here, give a man a gun, he'll rob a bank. Give a man a bank and he'll rob the world. And this is what's going on now.
With America more divided than ever, it's not just the two candidates casting an unsparing eye over their opponent.
I had a couple turns the hard way, but I took a half hour to get him up here, but it was worth the wait.
So you have this art collector called In Decline, and you have a character with devil's horns here, a suitcase, and all the stars are fallen down from the flag and they're upside down. This indicates some kind of crash of the economy, and you have Trump and he's wearing a Masonic ring. It also looks like he has some kind of sexually transmitted disease.
We were turning up somewhat of a life-size Donald Trump. He's a little taller, he's a little heavier, he's a lot lighter, but he's got about the same air mass to him, which is full of nothing.
The protest art collect
Okay, now you're going to see the word Jabba, and then you're going to see the word 666.
In Decline
Jabba, remember he's famous for Operation Warp Speed.
titillated America when they're
Jabba 666, and here you have the Masonic square and compass here. Okay, let's see if we can capture this.
size
Jabba 666.
wicked stack. Of Donald.
You have Jabba 666 and you have a Masonic sign next to it, the square and compass. You have this devil character with a suitcase in decline and all the stars are upside down, like in a satanic ritual.
Trump appeared over.
So now you're going to see the Masonic ring on Trump. So let's try and blow this up and capture it in more detail.
Protest art in Decline.
So there's Jabba
Titillated.
666 here, and you have the square. You have the square and compass here. Square and compass here. Square and compass here. 666 Jabba.
As naked statues of Donald Trump appeared overnight in parks and streets.
There are some liberties taken, of course, with the hair, the gut,
Masonic ring here.
All of the statues vanished the same day, but now, thanks to art curator Stanley Soodle, one more has found a home in New Jersey. It delights thousands each day as they commute into
There's the Masonic ring, compass and square. Remember that the program starts with Lincoln. And Lincoln was famous about that story about the Leonid meteor stream, meteor shower, and he's also famous for the Civil War and being shot, and there's lots of predictive programming that that Trump will be shot. You have this character called Robert Schoch, who with Graham Hancock says that the Tauride meteor shower, so that same meteor shower which Mr. MBB is promoting, that same meteor shower, they claim, is responsible for the Younger Dryas extinction event. So around 10,000 BC there was this event which they claim caused the ending of the Ice Age, and it was a meteor strike, and it was because of the Tauride meteor shower had some larger fragments. Now Robert Schoch, and that meteor strike ended Atlantis. Now Robert Schoch is a theosophist, and theosophy, both his parents were theosophists, and theosophy is connected to Madame Blavatsky, and Madame Blavatsky influenced Freemasonry. So what they're showing you is Freemasonry. Madame Blavatsky, theosophy, who went on to influence the Charlie Chaplin impersonator in Germany. He was very influenced by theosophy, so was the painter Gauguin, and all the Masonic writers and artists of that time. So we have interesting news coming from this man, Mr. MBB333, that the Tauride meteor shower, which is between September and December, might contain a swarm of deadly large asteroids, and that this could devastate the Earth, with many events like the Tunguska event but going all at the same time. And this is very similar to this film Tracked Down, and I hope I've explained some of the links between Lincoln, Trump and the meteor showers, and how the connection to this event, and how this event will be used by man with missiles to convince the public that this is a natural event. Thank you.